Namaste, Om Sai Ram. We're with Gautamji once again, continuing our series on the life of Dr. Anna Sahib Kavankar, specifically the book A Jewel of Sai Devotion, through which there are these beautiful pointers Anna Sahib had shared, which are mentioned in this book. And today we'll be discussing one of the most important pointers on spiritual practice. So, firstly, Gautam, thank you as always for your time.
It is my privilege, as I always say, Nick, to be of such wonderful service to Baba's teachings.
It's all by His grace, Gautam. And today, this particular pointer I would like to discuss with you on spiritual practice. So, if you don't mind, I will read a few of these excerpts. Anna said, if you utter the words Sai Mauli, visualizing that Sai Ma is near you, observing you lovingly, and that she never leaves you alone, then you will actually have the same experience. That bhav turns into reality thus. The working of the human eye is similar to that of a photographic camera. There are lenses in both. When the ray of light passes through the lens, an image is formed on the retina. In the case of the human eye, it is further conveyed to the brain, and the jiva understands the image. Let us suppose that Sri Sai Baba is actually in front of us. His image will be formed on our retina, and we will see and sense his existence. For grasping it, we must be attentive and have full concentration. If we lack in attention and concentration, and if our mind is focused on something else, then we will fail to take cognizance of what we see. Then it will not make any difference whether Sri Sai Baba is before us or not. Similarly, when we look at him in our mind with devotion, love and bhav, then also we get the same experience as though he were in front of us. So, Gautam, I feel this is a very beautiful pointer Anna has shared, and there are different aspects to this, but we can begin by discussing this first.
Yes, this is very important actually, what this practice which has been suggested. You see, because what it is pointing to is we don't need to rely on a physical form, because that form cannot be in front of us all the time like a murti. We are going to be busy in the day, we are going to move out of our home. So what he is saying is that just recreating the image of Baba. You see, because the physical form is also seen within our consciousness. It is perceived. And recreating the image is the same because it is appearing within our consciousness. But the difference is this recreation can stay with us even when we are away from our altar, let's say. This is a very beautiful technique, and it is quite popular even today in the West. You know, they have these, of course, in Western language, they have these techniques of manifestation and all such things. This is the same thing. This recreation of Baba's form in our mind's eye is, as he rightly says, exactly the same as looking at the form. In fact, I feel it is even closer to one's heart. And one more thing which I'd like to add is, when we create this form in our mind's eye, it is literally a creation from nothing into something. It is a very deep spiritual practice. We think, oh, we are just visualizing the form of Baba, but we are literally allowing it to emerge from within our own consciousness. So we become closer to it.
One other aspect I practice mentally is I contemplate on this. That see, when Baba was in body prior to 1918, if you see most of the Mahabhaktas, met Baba say 5, 10, 15, 20 times, and they were with Baba in body in Shirdi for maybe one day a month, one day in a few months. Like, for example, even I would go to my guru before he left his body for a few days every few months. But other than that, the connection used to be maintained internally by following the teachings, doing the sadhana the guru has advocated, remembering the guru, praying to the guru. You know, in those forms, you're always connected with the master. So, you see, from that standpoint also, if one even imagines Baba is still in body, and you will go to see Baba sometime, if you take your worship with that attitude, then it can have a totally different essence.
Yes, and now I'll give you one example which comes to mind. Someone whose guru was another sage. I visited his home in Pune, and everywhere I turned left, front, right are images of the guru. Guru had dropped his body. And I knew this friend of mine was extremely close to his guru. He was acting as the secretary of the guru. That bond was so strong. So I asked him, I said, what motivates you to put up so many images? Wherever I see your master's photos there. And he said, I have only put them there because I know he is everywhere and it is just a reminder. Now, we are not saying everyone has to put images everywhere, but as one feels within oneself, one honors that. That is very important. We should not feel, Nick, some people feel embarrassed to put up their guru's photos. You'll find, I'm telling you, because they have this, oh, what will others think? And we have to leave these concepts behind, because this is the material world, whereas our relationship with our master only we know. So we can't be bothered too much about our display of love and affection for our guru. What others will think is really quite irrelevant.
So, in some cases, Gautam, someone may not have the space, like they may stay in a small home with 7 or 8 people, and they may not have that personal space. But in one's meditation, in one's bhakti, even if one sits with closed eyes, or even with their eyes open and they remember with a longing heart, Baba would say in the Satcharit to Hemar Panth, meditate on me from head to toe.
Yes.
So you see, I feel Anna's pointer here is so in tune with that. And it's a beautiful reminder.
It is.
That, if we remember Baba with a longing heart like that, there is no difference then when Baba, because see, another aspect he says here is, if Baba is even in front of you and your attention is not there, you will not have cognizance of that.
I'll give you an example.
Can I crack a joke in between? Sorry.
Sure.
You can have Instagram, Baba said this, those cute quotes that come. So you could be scrolling Instagram there, and then Baba comes and you have no, that could probably become a little, what do you say, a meme? Yeah, so someone may make that, like Baba is right in front of you, but you're on Instagram.
Yeah. No, it reminds me of this, if you go to a restaurant, and you're sitting there and it's a very busy restaurant and 2 people are sitting facing each other, when other guests walk in, especially if it's someone who's very flashy, your eyes go, your attention gets diverted. It happens very often. Now, full attention means when I'm with you, I'm talking to you, you're in front of me, the attention is not diverted by forms, by movement. That is the kind of attention, even in this spiritual practice, I cannot be thinking of work and visualizing Baba in front of me. Then that's a distracted attempt at spiritual practice. Sometimes we can't control it, I agree, especially when someone is very active. But that sadhana, that effort, if it is made, it will reap a lot of results.
See, in this instance, Baba has given clear instruction and encouraged one practice himself to remember Baba through activities and dedicate them to him. Let's take, for example, if someone is a householder and the household chores, so they can say, I'm cleaning my home for Baba. Baba will like this.
Yes.
I am cooking for Baba. Baba like this dish.
Yes.
So that way the remembrance is constant, unbroken, and every activity becomes devotion.
That is actually, if we can do that, that is the ultimate sadhana. You're offering everything to the divine.
So it's not very difficult to do, but I think the precedent of that is bhav and love. That you put Baba first in everything. That is what matters.
Yes. This is actually, I know some people who practice this sadhana for their own respective gurus. So if something happens untowardly in the day, like someone upsets them, they will even offer their upset first to the guru. Then they will deal with the situation. That becomes the first thought. So what is happening is me as an individual is going into the background because Baba is in the foreground now. So if someone says something, someone does something, I hear some news which I don't like, I even offer that to Baba. It is really a constant practice.
And this came directly from Baba. This practice, so
offer everything
to him.
And I would like to add one more point here, because I read this maybe 15 years ago, and perhaps the reason is to share it now. I don't remember which master's book. It is about the same thing, remembering a form in one's consciousness. And the master said, even better than that is to recreate the form. So in your mind's eye, you start first with Baba's face, then the, other parts of the body, and you bring the form into being, rather than just remembering a photo you have seen which you like. This is also a very powerful practice because it takes even more effort. So your focus is more pointed because recreation of the form is happening. So I just wanted to share that with the viewers.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
Very similar to what Baba told Hemar Pant, but yes, very beautiful practice. If you give me permission, I'll read a little more. Very beautiful pointer by Anna. Purification of the Atma takes many births. Then the journey of the Atma with the body will end and will merge with the Supreme. Thus, by understanding the real meaning of death, great beings, saints and Mahatmas live their life. They take several births and do good deeds with patience and determination. Keeping full faith in the Supreme, they do their sadhana along with their duties. Finally, they rest in eternal peace in the arms of the Lord. When the mind is active, it chases sense objects. However, its real purpose is to find completeness and be immersed in the bliss of the self. Due to ignorance, it loses its way, but when convinced of the truth, the way will be found. As you are convinced of this truth, your mind will gradually be still and merge in the Supreme. You must have full control on your mind. Only the one who masters his mind can meditate. So, you see, Gautam, the teachings are there. Baba's teachings, Baba's instruction, the Leelas, the inspiration, everything is there in the Gyaneshwari, the Satcharit. But I feel the turning point is this: when after seeing enough, after you suffer, when you are convinced of the simple reality that God alone is real and everything else is fleeting and illusionary,
yes,
will you have absolute faith that whatever Baba says is the ultimate truth and there's nothing else? So I feel that turning point is the conviction in the teachings.
Yes, and sooner or later one reaches it, especially when one is already on this journey. Like if someone is watching this video right now, that potential is there, that perhaps I'm just missing one step. When they hear something like this, it just needs that slight kind of push that, there are sadhanas outlined, there are processes outlined, Some masters never left behind processes. Baba has left behind ways to be close to him. So they can even pick one, two, whatever various ones they want and bring them into their daily living.
You know, a very simple practice I can advocate to beginners who have not started any formal sadhana is, say, if you start with meditation, something they could do is, say, have a friend who is on the path as well, who practices meditation. And even today, through video calls or something, you can just allocate a time. Like 7 a.m., we will quietly make a call, set up the thing, sit in the asan posture. The minute the 30-minute timer is over, put the call off, not exchange. Like in Vipassana, no eye contact, no speaking. And this way, if you have a day where you're not motivated, the other person, you've made a commitment that at this time, it's a good starting practice, I feel.
It is, and since we've mentioned meditation, two aspects here. One is when you sit at a fixed time and a fixed place, that place develops an energy and your body goes into a rhythm and it remembers that time, so it assists you in going into meditation at that particular time. But this requires discipline. If one day I sit at 7 a.m., one day at 7 p.m., it's not going to really work. So discipline, dedication. One more thing I say to encourage beginners. There is no such thing as a bad meditation because an attempt is being made to meditate. What is a bad meditation? Someone said, oh, I had too many thoughts. I said, it's very good meditation. He said, how can you say that? I said, because you were aware you had too many thoughts. Otherwise, all the time you're too busy in your life. At least you gave yourself half an hour, you sat down and the awareness came, I had too many thoughts. So he was quite taken aback. I said, don't have any expectations of meditation. Just be sincere and earnest that I am going to give myself this time. Thoughts will come. By and by they will reduce and let the journey begin. That beginning is the important thing.
Absolutely. And when you have someone, you can, if you're lucky that you have a guru bandhu of that sort and it is a silent, there's no interaction.
Yes.
That can help you,
Of course, it's a catalyst.
Yes. Then,
Sure.
for example, even when you sit in your posture, when you know you're with somebody, you will not distract yourself, move around. So, stillness of body, mind, both will happen in time. One could even start with 15 minutes, then gradually increase it to 30, 40 minutes.
Some people can't sit still, Fair enough. Sit for 5 minutes.
Exactly.
With
Start.
focus.
Start.
Yeah, and keep building it up.
Correct. So I hope this pointer and this discussion is very helpful. And Gautam, thank you for your insights. And I hope we can continue this series.
Yes, thank you.